This episode is brought to you by Indeed. When your computer breaks, you don't wait for it to magically start working again. You fix the problem. So why wait to hire the people your company desperately needs? Use Indeed's sponsored jobs to hire top talent fast. And even better, you only pay for results. There's no need to wait. Speed up your hiring with a $75 sponsored job credit at Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply.
This episode is brought to you by Starbucks. Smooth, bright, deliciously crafted. Introducing Starbucks Sansera Blend, their smoothest, brightest coffee yet. It's a new kind of light roast, one that's packed with so much flavor, it shines no matter how you brew it. So go ahead and try it hot, iced, black, or with a splash of creamer. Visit athome.starbucks.com/Sansera-blend-coffee to bring Starbucks Sansera Blend home.
Hello and welcome to I Talk to Ghosts, the podcast that encourages you to have your portrait painted, hide it in the attic, and leave it for future generations to wonder, who is this spooky person? I'm your haunted host, Jennifer. I'm a spirit medium and a teller of ghost stories. And as you may have guessed by my opening encouragement there, tonight's ghost stories are about haunted portraits. There can just be something so creepy about painted portraits. Not all of them, but some of them, such as the ones in my stories tonight. After the spooky, stay for the spiritual. I have a new message from the spirits. At that time, I open up the space to have a spirit come close with a message for someone listening to the podcast. And since you are, this message could be for you. That's later on in the podcast. But first, grab a paintbrush. Let's paint some spooky right now. This happened to me while staying at a cabin about 2 hours from Ottawa. I had been visiting friends in Quebec and Nova Scotia, and one of my stops on my trip was a wedding at a blueberry farm. My uncle had arranged for both families, the brides and the grooms, to stay in cabins before the big day so everyone could get to know each other. Our cabin was charming in that old-timey, slightly spooky way. It was full of antique furniture and creaky floorboards, with only the kitchen appliances and the TV betraying any hint of modern life. While we waited for the rest of the family to arrive, those that were there shared the space. I hauled my very heavy suitcase upstairs, very careful to watch my feet so that I didn't disastrously hurt myself. I was excited to pick a bedroom, but the moment I reached the top landing, I froze. The light was dim, the air heavy, and something about the space made me immediately uneasy. I held my breath. It seemed way too quiet. Was someone up here already, waiting to jump out and scare me? I felt watched. I quickly chose a room, dropped the suitcase, and rushed back towards the staircase. That's when I saw her. There was a large portrait hanging above the stairs. It was of a stern-looking woman in her 30s, painted in muted colors. Her eyes stared with an intensity that made me feel like she knew I was there. It felt dangerous to pass the portrait, but I did so quickly and headed downstairs. In the living room, I looked up and realized I could still see her, and her, me. I sat with my back to the painting, trying to shake off the unsettling feeling, and I texted my mom. The cabin's nice, but there's this picture of a woman on the wall, and it's giving me the heebie-jeebies. After that, I avoided going upstairs alone. Out of curiosity and a little unease, we all asked the staff about the cabin's history. They told us that the cabin had been moved piece by piece from Algonquin Park about 3 hours away. The portrait had come with it, and no one knew who the woman was. One of the cleaning staff admitted that she, too, felt eyes following her whenever she worked there. That night, I slept in my chosen room and was relieved that it didn't feel eerie. But the next evening, as more family arrived, I kid you not, I had to sleep in the upstairs corridor on a rolled-out cot directly in view of the portrait. That night, I couldn't sleep. The stillness was thick, so I opened my laptop to stream something to keep me company. Just after 1 a.m., a glowing movement made me glance up from my screen. Just inches from my face, the woman hovered in midair. Her face, from the portrait, pale, stern, and impossibly close. I tried to scream, but I couldn't. My throat was dry, locked in fear. I squeezed my eyes shut. When I opened them again, she was gone. I stayed under the covers, the flickering light of my laptop still playing. My heart rate refused to slow down. Had I imagined it? My only relief was I hadn't screamed and woken up my entire family. By 3 p.m. the next day, we moved to a different scheduled cabin, and the strange energy lifted instantly. I finally felt like I could breathe again. To this day, I don't know why she appeared to me. Was she warning me? Watching me? Or simply letting me know I wasn't alone? When my mother was expecting her third child, my family decided it was time to find a larger house. It took a while to find a house which both fit our needs and which we all liked. After a couple of months, we finally found one which we all fell in love with. It had tall ceilings, large rooms, and it came with a field for my sister's horse. It was an old house with most of its original features still intact and plenty of character. As we would soon find out, it had a little too much character. I want to state that before moving into this house, I never believed in the supernatural or the paranormal and had been a skeptic all my life. However, my experiences in this house have changed that forever. The house was actually part of an estate, so the previous owner's furniture and belongings were still in the house when we moved in. Some of the furniture was really nice and old-fashioned, so we kept quite a lot of it. One night, I had a dream that I was walking through the house, except the house was different. Instead of electric lights, there were gas lights, and the wallpaper and furniture was different, and everything looked new rather than old. As I wandered the hall, I came to stand outside the bathroom. In my dream, the door was ajar, so I looked through it. There was a man in the bath, humming a song under his breath. He looked up at me and stopped humming. I turned quickly to run away, and I woke up. I've never been one to dwell on dreams and nightmares, so I turned over and went back to sleep. A couple of weeks later, we finally decided to tackle the clutter that had been left in the attic. We were all claiming furniture and art that we liked, and right at the bottom of all the items, we found a painting. I almost collapsed when I saw it. The man in the painting looked exactly like the man I had seen in that dream. Even then, my skeptical mind chalked it all up to coincidence. My parents were going to throw the painting away, so I quickly claimed it. I don't know why, I just felt like getting rid of it would be a bad idea. So I panicked and said I wanted it. With nowhere else to put it, I hung the portrait above the fireplace in my room. That night, I was putting away my laundry while listening to the radio in my room when someone began humming behind me, humming the song from my dream. I turned, expecting to see my father. Instead, I saw the man from my dream. Only this time, I wasn't dreaming. There he was, sitting in the armchair by the fireplace, looking up at his portrait. He said something about the painting, but I really didn't catch it. I was running from my room through the house to the kitchen, and I told my parents there was someone in my room. When my dad went to check, there was no one. We searched the whole house, top to bottom. Nothing. Immediately, we began looking into the history of the house and the land. The original owner of the house had died of influenza. During World War II, it was used as a war hospital, and more recently, 7 different families had owned the house, and the stories get more and more horrific. I've been burning blessing incense, and I've even tried a DIY exorcism. I tried to throw out the portrait, but I tripped on the stairs so badly, I decided it's safer to keep it. I wasn't planning on buying anything that day. I was just tagging along with my friend to a dusty barn auction way out in the countryside. She loves old things. The more mysterious and questionable, the better. I usually just nod along and try not to sneeze on all the antiques. That's when I saw her. The portrait wasn't the kind of thing you'd expect to find among rusted tools and chipped teacups, but there she was. It was a life-size oil portrait of a bride, sitting stiffly in a high-back chair that looked more like a throne. Her dress was old-fashioned lace. Her veil was so finely painted it looked sheer enough to touch. But her face was beautiful in a cold, unsettling way. Lips pressed in a severe line, eyes wide, too wide, like she was holding her breath, perhaps startled. There was a name scratched on the placard on the back of the frame, Evelyn, 1874. I don't know why I bought it. My hand was in the air before I realized I was bidding. I told myself it was a strange kind of impulse buy, but it felt more like I was meant to take it home. We hung Evelyn in the living room in my apartment. My friend joked that she looked like she was judging us whenever we watched trashy TV. One night, I couldn't sleep. At 3:14 a.m. exactly, I awoke to this soft, repetitive sound. Tap, tap, tap. I followed the sound into the living room, my nervous system buzzing. The tapping stopped the moment I stepped into the room. Everything was still, except the painting. It was slightly crooked, just barely. I fixed it, and for a second, I swear I saw Evelyn blink. I gasped, and I took a step back. Her expression hadn't changed. Wide-eyed, watchful, frozen. It seemed to get worse after that. If the room was dark, I swore her hands would be in a different position, or the lace of her veil would be shifted. The corners of her mouth seemed more downturned now, just slightly. Once, out of the corner of my eye, as I was walking past the room, I swore she was standing instead of sitting. Even when I saw her sitting there, she was pressing forward, closer to the edge of the frame. That morning, I called in an art historian. I needed answers. She studied the portrait in silence for a long time before telling me quietly, This is a mourning portraiture. The subject was likely painted after death. I stared at her, but she's sitting upright. The historian nodded. Sometimes the family would pose the body just to keep them lifelike. After that, I tried to return the painting. The auction house had no record of it. They said they had never seen it before. I felt so confused and angry and frustrated, like they were lying to me. I thought about burning it. I set it out in the yard one night, lighter fluid and everything. But I paused before I could strike the match. It felt like Evelyn was there, staring at me through the veil, her face twisted, not in anger, but hurt, betrayed. I couldn't go through with it. Eventually, I moved. Different city, different apartment, but I took the painting with me. I couldn't leave her behind, or maybe she wouldn't let me. Even now, wherever I hang the portrait, she changes, slowly, subtly. One day, maybe she'll reach out. I don't know, but I also never want to know.
Hey, it's Paris. You know I love sparkly things, right? Like stars. Duh. And thanks to Hilton and AutoCamp, I just slept under them. Picture me serving looks by the fire outside my luxurious Airstream, making s'mores with the kids, while a national park is our backdrop. The great outdoors meets Hilton hospitality. That's hot. Explore all the new ways to stay at Hilton.com. Hilton for the stay.
Hello and welcome back to I Talk to Ghosts. I'm at my seance table at the moment and I have a message from the spirits. So thank you for joining me in the candlelight. Tonight as I work, I have with me blue tiger's eye. Now you may be very familiar with the golden hues of tiger's eye, but this blue stone is said to really help assist in deep healing work. It is also known as a stone of strength and power and could help push you to achieve that wildest dream or help you overcome life's challenges. And of course, since it is a blue stone, it's also connected with the third eye chakra. Therefore, it boosts intuitive abilities. That's blue tiger's eye. So I'm going to settle my mind, open the space for spirit to come close tonight. I have with me quite the boisterous man. He's coming in laughing and wearing this sweater. I see him like at a party holding his drink, just really in his element, being in a group of people and talking and sharing and laughing. He's dressed kind of conservatively. He kind of reminds me of Mr. Rogers a little bit. I wonder if there's a joke there or a nickname with him. And that drink, it's either a brandy or like rum and coke. He's joking that it was very sophisticated. Okay, and randomly, he's bringing up hard-boiled eggs. He's showing me that he read a lot. He's not embarrassed to admit that he liked comics and graphic novels. And he was really good with numbers. Gosh, it feels like he was always in this red sweater. I guess that was his fall and winter wardrobe. It's like a burgundy. He's showing me a school. It feels like he worked with kids. If he was good with numbers, maybe he was a math teacher. His message for you tonight is to know who you are, build that self-confidence from the inside, not the outside. It's not an external thing. This is an internal thing. And he knows that you had a vulnerable childhood, and that just know where you came from and why you developed the patterns of thinking that you have and the emotional safeguards that you have, and that they're not helping. They don't assist you anymore to keep you safe. They're hindering you. And he thinks you're brilliant and he wants to see you shine. And he knows that given your experience, you can handle anything. You can handle the roughest situation. So just know yourself and cultivate that love for yourself in your heart and celebrate yourself. I feel him caring for you so much, and he understands all of it, and he sees you and he thinks you're wonderful. Take some time for yourself. Maybe even do a little self-travel. Get out of your routines so that you can get out of your thinking patterns. Okay, I think I'm gonna leave it at that. If this message connects for you, please reach out. Please let me know, because I want to offer you that encouragement as well. He has such a soft spot for you, and like I said, he thinks you're brilliant. He wants you to know through and through that you are brilliant. Okay. Thank you. And with that, dear listener, we've reached the end of this episode of I Talk to Ghosts. I hope you've enjoyed my spirit work that I shared with you this evening. If the message from the spirits connected for you, please let me know. And also, I hope you enjoyed the spooky tales of haunted portraits. Do you have your own encounter with a creepy painting? I would love to hear it. So please reach out or leave a comment in the community. And if you haven't, maybe your time is soon. Well, wherever you wander off to, in this world or the next, just remember, come back and visit with me. Have a lovely evening and good night.
Hey everyone, I'm Erica.
And I'm Elizabeth.
We're sisters, wine lovers, and your hosts for the podcast Spirits Uncorked.
In season 2, we're leaving the haunted waters of Lake Lanier in Georgia and diving into all new spooky stuff. Shadow people?
I've seen them.
Haunted military bases?
I've served on one.
Local restaurants with ghostly reputations?
I work at one.
Okay, if something spooky doesn't happen to you, I worry about you.
The paranormal is my normal.
Plus, we'll sip and chat with horror authors, fascinating guests, and test out some superstitions along the way.
Knock on wood.
So uncork a bottle and pour a glass of the paranormal with us on season 2 of Spirits Uncorked.
Get ready for sips, scares, and sisterly sarcasm.
Welcome to Brew Crime, a true crime and beer podcast. Join me, Mike,
and me, JT,
as we explore the world of crime, conspiracies, or whatever catches our attention. This is a podcast where we pick a theme, cover a few cases, and pair them with a brew.
Between themes, we do what we call Brew Crime News, a funny look at current news stories, be it crime, animals, sports, or even celebrities.
You can find us on all social media at Brew Crime. Our website is brewcrime.com. And you can find us on any podcast app at Brew Crime Podcast.
Join us as we discuss the horrible crimes that surround us, and maybe, definitely, tip a bottle or two back as you do it. Drink with us weekly.